Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Esaala Bros podcast. It's a podcast involving RCB fans, some very, very passionate, some very, very realistic. Let's see how they feel after game one, where RCB took on CSK and the IPL opener. So, ಏನಾಯ್ತು maga? What happened? What's the mood right now? How's the Josh?
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಯ್ತು ರೀ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್, ಬುಸ್ಸಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ನಿಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತರ ಇತ್ತು ಫಸ್ಟ್ 4 overs, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಲೋ ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಯ್ತು.
So, what was?
ಏನು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ
ಏನು
ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಇದು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇನು ಇವಾಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ನ ಫುಲ್ ಟೂರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಚಿನ್ನಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಇವಾಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅದು ನೋಡೋಣ ನಾವು.
Chinnaswamy, so you're looking forward to the game on Monday. So, but yes, I think the game that happened yesterday, some critical points there. The first thing that I want to check with you guys is, where is it that RCB lost the game? Was it that over from Mustafizur Rahman where you guys just, lost a couple of wickets? Was that where the game was lost?
I agree with that. There were two turning points. One when they batted and one when they bowled. When they batted, that was a key point because that just pushed them so bad, right? When they lost both Kohli and Green, then you had no choice but to somehow survive and recover. You didn't get that space, and that's why we lost 25-30 runs, which you would have got if those two wickets didn't fall. I think that was a turning point. And
Santosh, tell me, man, you guys have such a packed batting order, okay? 7 power weight guys. England, the team doesn't think about recovery. They bat, deep. So should a team like RCB think about recovery and stuff? You guys had a good start, right? 3 overs, 33. And then you lost your way in the middle where you played out overs. I think there were about 7 overs of Jadeja and Mustafizur. 7 overs, I think, totally going for 34 runs. Do you think RCB can afford to play out overs or play out bowlers?
See, in fact, first wicket hogid takshana, we usually tend to be very cautious, right? Especially with Kohli there at the center. Kohli's approach is that if there are partners supporting with him, he will go bit of attacking. But once it becomes like he has to protect at one end, then he'll be always defensive, right? So at one end, we are more assured that if Kohli is there, then we need not be worrying about the wickets. It's about the other end partner who has to take out the innings forward at a quick rate.
Right. And I was also, in fact, initially joking to some of the RCB fans at the ground yesterday. I was at Chepauk saying that you guys are now just playing for net run rate. You're not competing in the match anymore. The game is over in the first 10 overs. But that said, you also saw a very good comeback. And question next to you, Sagar. We saw that RCB had a great comeback, 70 odd in the last, 5-6 overs. And the way, especially Anuj Rawat played, we have seen him, Anuj Rawat, as somebody who either opens your batting, is there in the top 3, and he's not very comfortable when introduced in the batting at 6 or 7. He did play, I think, a 15 or 23 balls against DC last year in a home game at Chinnaswamy. But do you think that's the right position for him after his innings? Of course, the answer you'll want to say is yes. But how did you see that innings from Anuj Rawat?
Anuj Rawat innings, it's very clear if you notice that they are recognizing him as a number. They're among all the newer players, or you can say the younger players like Lomro, Rawat, Suyash Prabhu Desai, and other players. They've recognized that Anuj Rawat is their first priority, you can say. And this whole story of Anuj Rawat is about showing him the confidence and trusting him and giving him that belief that you are our person to come and showcase your talent or showcase your skill, however it may be. And with the likes of Kohli and Maxwell and Faf and all those guys, it's not possible for Rawat to get that top order opening because they have found the opening partners and the top 4 or 5, you can say. So I think it's for Rawat's story is about showing belief in a youngster, and that also creates a sort of positive environment for the team story. And remember, he is the only left-hander that we had in the top 6 or 7. So another reason why they're sticking to him. It's only Lomro on him among the youngsters who are available who are the left-handers, and that was a key differentiator also yesterday.
Right. I think basis the auction strategy or whatever team that you have, you guys have decided that you have to outbat your opponents. So it obviously means you'll have to score 15, 20 runs more than what is otherwise seen as par for that particular ground and that particular opposition. Now, I'm just wondering that, okay, you guys scored 173 yesterday. What more inclusion can you have in your side that can, guarantee you a better batting performance? Do you think somebody like Will Jacks needs to come into the side at the cost of another foreigner, or you're fine with the current 11 that was there yesterday?
Yeah, so see, getting Will Jacks at this point in time, I would say that it's the right approach, because it's just that we are done with one game. And if we go by the history, I think all the other teams say to us that RCB as a team don't have enough opportunities, right? So, I mean, it's very true to its complete sense that we need to give good number of opportunities. And knowing that Rajat Patidar is coming from a bit of poor series against England. So probably he needs, say, a couple of innings to what he was in the 2022 IPL season. And I'm sure that he will be coming good to us very soon, especially that we have 3 back-to-back games at Chinnaswamy. So for now, I don't think so. We need to bring in Will Jacks. So for now, I think this is what we should continue for 1 or 2 more games.
Right. So Cameron Green in the middle overs, roughly, I think point of entry 11th over or so. Maxwell maybe 7th over or so, and then you hope your
Right.
openers, get through. That was your clear strategy, I think, back in 2020 and 2021, where you opened with, I think, Devdutt Padikkal, Virat Kohli, Aaron Finch, any of these three people, where you'd get past the 50, 50, 60 in about 7 overs, and then, there was this clear transition where your number 3, you had an anchor. And that was, I think, KS Bharat at times, and at times Rajat Patidar. But talking about 2022, a question to you, Vinay. Yesterday, I had that feeling that 2024 is looking like 2022. Because whenever 2022, I remember seeing DK being very active, then getting to India's World T20 squad because of all those partnerships lower down the order, because the top order would fail. And Rajat Patidar had a great season, and of course DK also with Shabaz. So do you see that, hey, is this getting towards that kind of a year right now?
See, RCB is like that guy who goes to the gym. He's working on his right arm, but suddenly his left arm looks small. So he works on his left arm, but his right arm becomes small, right? So RCB is always having such a scenario every year. But having said that, see, last year I felt 3-4 games we would have won if DK had closed it, right? DK was like in some weird land where all the sweeps that he was hitting for 4 yesterday were just falling next to the pitch. Now suddenly DK seems to be getting into the group. I have faith in the top 5 guys. I think we just need to it's just one game. Have that faith in them. They all have the ability. With DK coming good, finally both the arms will be balanced.
Right. And I remember your point where you were saying in the previous podcast that Cameron Green is that extra few runs that we actually need in the side, because Cameron Green gives us those extra 15, 20 runs in case DK fails or something like that. So that way, you guys are happy with the current lineup. It's just that your batting didn't execute as much, when it came against a very
Exactly.
strong
And
opponent.
additionally, Cameron Green, one silver lining is he picked up 2 wickets and he bowled 3 overs. So we are getting a lot more from that person at number 5 who's able to pick wickets, bowl in middle overs, maybe restrict a little somewhere in the middle overs. So we are getting more out of him than you can expect or you can ask for.
Right. In
He's
fact,
justifying the 17 crore tag, right? Very much.
right.
Going
I would
by
still
the
ask for some discount, Santosh. At least 30-40% discount. But
too late, I feel.
sure.
Talking about 17 crores, the bigger question in the room is there is an elephant in the room to be addressed, okay? Virat Kohli, he was basically easing into his innings just for, that 1/6 that he hit. That is the only time I saw him aggressive. Other than that, Virat Kohli was just slowly easing in. So do you need Virat Kohli to play as an anchor? Or do you need that aggressive approach that Virat Kohli showed in Chinnaswamy against Afghanistan, where everybody lauded him on the approach, but he was out 0 of 1, first ball, trying to hook a ball. So do you want the aggressive Virat Kohli, or do you want the usual Virat Kohli in T20s? 17 crore question.
See, very often, there are times when you feel, hey, is Kohli doing the right thing in this team by being an anchor? Is the anchor even necessary in a 20-over game? But having said that, yeah, that's a 17 crore question, which is answered very diplomatically. I can't say more. But having said that, one thing we have to realize is Kohli is hungry because he wants to be in the Indian team for the T20 World Cup. Now, hungry, injured, rather hurt Kohli, hungry Kohli, who has a point to prove, is a very different Kohli. He's a Kohli who hits the 100 against Afghanistan, not the Kohli who gets out for duck. You get the aggression and the 100.
I'll
So
tell
we
you
are
what,
finding a Kohli pushed to
this
the corner.
right, this 100 that you mentioned against Afghanistan also reminded me of the way he scored two very big knocks. One was against MI in the season opener last year, 2023 at Chinnaswamy, where you guys won by 10 wickets, and against Sunrisers. And that's where I feel against teams that are not very strong, or teams where you're chasing 180 in due, your batting abilities get overstated here. So, but you need Virat Kohli to perform in some of the bigger games. And sometimes, that slight slowness in getting started can cost you a game. So that is where I feel the Virat Kohli that needs to turn up is, Virat Kohli being aggressive, because that's the only way he's also going to break into the World T20 squad. Because we don't need a Virat Kohli who can build an innings, at least not on the slower tracks there. On truer wickets in Australia where you have bounce, those were conditions where only someone like Virat Kohli could score that knock against Pakistan. But you're not having those testing bounce and all that here in the US. You're just having these flat tracks or slow tracks in the Caribbean. So that there was some rumors saying that the BCCI wanted to speak to Virat Kohli about his place in the World T20. I was hoping that the IPL season for RCB could change all that. So I was actually looking forward to a different Virat Kohli showing up. But yeah, that's an elephant in the room, which I think even you fans are not sure how to address, because you guys are so entrenched in watching the fortunes of RCB unfold over a 14-game period. Right, and that's the point that you guys mentioned on Cameron Green. 3 overs, 2 wickets, that's 18 balls and 2 wickets, strike rate of actually 9, which is like gold, platinum standard for a T20 bowler, obviously going only by one match. But his strike rate coming into the IPL last season for Mumbai Indians bowling was 60, which is a wicket every 60 balls. So we're having a very different version of Cameron Green also showing up, and he fits well into your team. I hope he manages to perform well. But the other point that I had, and I think somebody was also tweeting about it, was that, hey, why was Mayank Duggar just, given 2 overs? Totally 3 overs of spin bowled in the 19 overs that RCB bowled. Is it that Faf doesn't trust somebody like Mayank Duggar to, bowl to a left-handed Dreras like against spin like Shivam Dube or Ravi Jadeja? How did you guys read that? How did you read that, Vinay?
What we saw that moment Shivam Dube came in, the idea was to bounce him out, right? And that's why they took Mayank Duggar out, because they're like, okay, he obviously cannot do that, right? So that's why I took him out of the attack. I don't think he got him back in at all. Now, I think Sagar had some very good observation about Faf's teams. Because one of the things I saw that Andy Flower post the auction was saying, we consult the captain, especially for bowling, because we want to give him bowlers that he can marshal the best. That's like something that is completely in his control to change and swap and do all of that. And Faf has an approach which Saga saw as a trend in various leagues going around. Saga can speak more about that.
No, I think the observation that I felt was, it started, if you think about it, last year Vijay Kumar Vaishak is in his debut, and I know it's a debut, so there is the captain going to talk to him, but he told Vijay Kumar Vaishak specifically what balls to ball. He told him, bowl a knuckle ball, and he got David Warner's wicket. And he told him to bowl a slow bouncers. He got another wicket, and Vaishak got 3 wickets in that debut match, if I'm right. And all 3 he's credited to Faf. And if you notice, he has medium pacers around in Johannesburg Kings and other leagues that he captains, he does like to have these medium pacers, and he went. I think Aljari Joseph's auction was they aggressively went to get. I think primarily because of Faf's inputs. And I think even Cameron Green, I won't be surprised if Cameron Green's role was explained to him on how to bowl, or giving him some suggestions or ideas due to his vast experience. And I won't be surprised if Cameron Green is effective as a bowler in RCB just because he has Faf. Just like Dhoni has a thing with spinners. It's something that I would like to observe this season, whether Faf is having, he has more control or more understanding on where and what line lengths, what balls to bowl, standing in the, mid off, giving these inputs. So that's something I think we need to observe.
Right. That's an interesting thing that Faf actually, has a thing with, getting used to bowling more medium pacers or fast bowlers. But I was generally thinking that even with Hasaranga, Faf didn't trust him much, because whenever Virat Kohli was captaining, he gave Hasaranga a 4-over spell in the 2023 edition, when Faf just gave him 2 overs. And it was surprising that, why is he not trusting? But I was trying to see those parallels there. But net, I think this is where we probably have to summarize and see where we are with respect to the game. My sense is this is how the sessions looked out. If you were to divide the innings into 2 parts, okay, which is basically your overs 1 to 6, middle overs, and then your death overs. I think CSK won both the power plays. The middle overs were shared in both aspects. Death over 1-1 each to CSK as well as to RCB. But net RCB only won 1 session on their own. CSK won 3. I'm saying this because when I take a look at the number of dot balls or the number of boundaries, RCB has scored more boundaries, and proportionately the dot balls are the same. So it looks like despite CSK being so ahead of the game, they were actually not so far ahead also.
I feel they finished the game in the first 8 overs. While you feel the game was they're not that far ahead. It's because if you just take the first 8 overs of both the innings, it was very far ahead, right? And after that, you could let the game free. You could even lose a few dot balls that didn't matter. Especially, I remember one key ball which defines the approach, where Rahane hit Yash Dayal over long off.
Amazing
On
shot,
a good
man.
line.
Yeah.
Right, that showed that was a power play over. That's a
Right.
5.6th over. So it showed that they were very clear. We are going to, go at it hard and then take it from there, right? So the partnership of Rachin and Rahane, I felt, finished it.
Here I wanted to mention is that in the RCB's lineup, right, only Kohli hit one single six, and none of the top 5 or 6 didn't even score any six. Whereas with CSK, if you see, altogether 9 sixes were scored. And this has been a problem with RCB in the past also. So if you go by the numbers for 2023, there were 67 sixes scored by just Faf and Maxwell. And the entire remaining RCB batsmen could score 40. So there is a huge difference between a proper T20 player, whereas there is too much of reliance on the aggressive players in Faf and Maxwell to come out good and hit those long sixes. That has been a perennial problem for RCB, I feel.
Last year, going by last year's form, Faf du Plessis and Maxwell hit those sixes. So you're not getting more sixes. So what do? You already have a 17 crore liability. You take another 17 crore liability to get more sixes in. Man, that's the state
Balance
of
the books.
to balance the books, and you're on heavy debt. You guys are like in an Inception movie, debt within a debt within a debt. Not too different from how Vijay Mallya went through this. He was the one who owned RCB.
Karthik, at the end of the day, Karthik, RCB fan base, RCB is an emotion, and Kohli is an integral part of it. Whether win or lose, Kohli is going to be there. He's an RCBN, and so there is. I've debated this, and even I have asked myself this question always about the 17 crore liability, or like what. But at the end of the day, I think I came to a conclusion that RCB is an emotion, and that's it.
That's why it's a 17 crore liability, but 100 crore profitability.
Profitable, yes. I think win or lose, people drink Royal
Brand.
Challenge.
Maybe 100 crore brand is the right word.
Talking of 17 crores, I think we have addressed this point many a times. This is a 17th season. So do you see some correlation with that?
Do you see some
Somewhere
ROI?
of us being the
That's the
champions
right
winning the
question to
17th.
make. The
Yeah, I
17th
saw
pro
that
Man City.
tweet. I saw that
Yes.
tweet. So AB de Villiers saying that this is the 17th season, and things are about Esaala. He's basically asking that question, EsalaCupNamde, and somebody responded to that saying that okay, shirt number 333. You also had Chris Gale, so that's how long it's going to take for you guys to win a trophy. So there's a lot of fun that's poking around, and I think one shot that I had as a neutral fan yesterday at the ground was to go and see Shivam Dube, one of ex-RCB cricketers who Nags referred to as Dubes in one of the videos. Shivam Dube basically averages 181 against RCB, especially when he's played for CSK. Why, guys? Why?
I don't know what happened in the dressing room when Shivam Dube was part of RCB. No? What kind of ragging happened? I do not know what all they did to him, the bullying. So it is like he has kept all of that in his mind and heart and just getting back at them. So the answer lies in the dressing room and what actually happened there.
Note, I hope RCB doesn't become an also ran team this year like DC or BBKS. I'm hoping that they're going to come to the knockouts, because we also need a good rivalry, a good fan base to come and cheer to make the IPL what it is. So that's where this podcast ends. Do join the same group for a preview of the RCB versus Punjab game, where Punjab are going to come all the way from Mullanpur to Madiwala, and we're going to catch that preview on our YouTube channel sometime tomorrow. But till then, here's all of us saying tada and see you.